are going to learn about narrative text. You have probably heard stories like Cinderella, Maling Kundang, or The Lion and the Mouse, right? These are examples of narrative text. Here's what we'll discuss today. 1. Definition. 2. Structure. 3. Language feature. 4. Example. And the 5. Type and writing tips. And at the end, there will be a short exercise, so stay tuned till the end. Now, let's start by understanding what a narrative text. Narrative text is a type of text used to tell a story or even in a sequence. Its main purpose is to entertain the reader or listener through the story being told. The story in a narrative text can be fiction, such as fairy tales, legend, or fables, or non-fiction, such as biography or personal experience. In other words, a narrative text helps us tell interesting stories that have a plot, character, and moral message inside. Alright, if you have get the idea, let's move on the next part about the structure of narrative text with your second narrator.
Now let's move on to the explanation about the structure parts of a narrative text. In general, a narrative text consists of four main parts: orientation, complication, resolution, and reorientation. Each part plays an important role in building an interesting story. Let's discuss them one by one. First, orientation. The introduction. The first part functions to introduce the characters, the setting, and the time of the story. This is where the story begins, and the reader is invited to get to know the world of the story. For example, once upon a time, there lived a beautiful princess in a big castle near the forest. She lived there with her kind father, the king. From this sentence, we can find out who the characters are: a beautiful princess and the king, where the place is a big castle near the forest, and when it happened once upon a time. Second, complication. The problem or conflict. This part is the heart of the story. It's where the problem begins to appear, making the story exciting to follow. For example, one day, a wicked witch came to the castle and cursed the princess, turning her into a swan. The king was very sad and tried to find a way to break the spell. Here, we can see the main conflict where the princess is cursed by an evil witch. Resolution. The solution to the problem. After the conflict arises, of course, it needs to be solved. This part is called the resolution. After many years, a brave prince found the swan and discovered the secret of the ghost. With true love, the spell was finally broken, and the princess became human again. In this part, the problem is finally solved, and it usually becomes the climax or most emotional moment. Reorientation. The closing or moral value. The last part is optional, meaning it may appear or not. It usually contains a moral message or life lesson that the readers can learn from the story. From that day, the princess and the prince live happily ever after. The story teaches us that true love and kindness can defeat evil. This part gives meaning and reflection to the whole story.
Now, let's move on to the language feature of a narrative text. A narrative text usually has specific characters, such as a king, a princess, a hero, or even talking animals. It also uses action verbs which describe what the characters do. For example, walk, run, jump, poke, and escape. In addition, it often includes saying verbs and thinking verbs such as say, told, tried, believe, and wondered. These verbs show what the characters say, think, or feel during the story. All these features help readers or listeners imagine the event clearly and make the story more vivid and interesting. Finally, most narrative texts contain a moral value or a lesson we can learn from the story. For example, a story may teach us to not be arrogant, to be honest, to be brave when facing challenges, or to help others in need. So, a narrative text is not only entertaining but also gives us meaningful life lessons.
The next is example of narrative text in the form of a short story. Once upon a time, a big lion lived in Africa. One hot day, after eating a lot, the lion fell asleep under a tree. A little mouse came along and started playing on the lion's back. The lion woke up and was very angry. He cuffed the tiny mouse in his paw. "Please, don't eat me," cried the mouse. "If you let me go, I promise I'll help you someday." The lion laughed. "You help me? That's funny." But he let the mouse go anyway. One day, the lion got caught in a hunter's net. He roared and roared, but he couldn't get out. The little mouse heard the lion's roar. He remembered his promise and ran to help. He started chewing on the ropes of the net with his sharp teeth. Bit by bit, he chewed until the net broke, and the lion was free. The lion was amazed. "You saved me," he said to the mouse. "I didn't think you could do it." The mouse smiled. "Even a small mouse can help a big lion." From that day on, the lion and the mouse became friends.
Hello everyone, the first step is a legend. A legend is a story that people believe really happened in the past, but is often mixed with a magical or supernatural element. It's usually about the origin of place, a hero, or an event that shaped a community. The second type is myth or mythos. A myth is a story that explains nature or spiritual phenomena through gods, spirit, or magical powers. People in ancient times used myths to explain things that science couldn't explain. The third type is fable. A fable is a story where animals act like humans, they can talk, sing, and behave like a people. Fables are usually simple but carry strong moral lessons. The fourth type is fairy tale. A fairy tale is a fantasy story full of magic, witches, fairies, or talking objects. It's often about good versus evil and most of the time ends happily ever after. Okay, the last type is folk tale. A folk tale is a traditional story passed down orally from generation to generation. The author is usually unknown and the story reflects the local culture, values, and wisdom of the